Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm Didi Young. I'm a animal communicator. I'm a clairvoyant coach, spiritual coach, and therapist. And I'm making a living out of my passion. Definitely connect with the feeling. I don't have like a visual picture of where am I going or how to get there, but I just know that I have to do it. And I also knew that I don't actually have the time to do it, but I just felt compelled doing it. And that's the only thing we have, our intuition, right? So I did it, and then it went, as a massive success. And please feel free to download it or buy it.
Yeah, and it will be in the link.
Yeah, I channeled it actually. So I kind of knew what kind of exercises, because this book is written by coaches from all over the world to other coaches. So I kind of knew what kind of exercises do I want them to go through, but I had no idea how to explain it or be more specific about it. And then I channeled it, and then my chapter came out. Yeah, because I need to walk the path that I am teaching from. I need to do the walk right and not just the talk. And because I'm doing the walk myself, because I have dealt with pain, being abandoned, whatever in my story, I know what the solution is to me, and whatever I gain from it, I want to pass that on to other people that are resonating with pain or being abandoned, which is my kind of karma lesson here in my life. I think I have several episodes in my life. I was born in Korea, South Korea, in 1979, and back then you didn't go down to pick up the children as you do now as an adoptee. You know, when you enter a country, you're there for 3 months, yet then you're bringing the child back to their new home country. Back then in 79, we were just on a plane for 34 hours, you know, and I arrived in a country which I couldn't relate to. I didn't understand the smell, the sound, the feelings, or the language at all. So that was kind of my first breakthrough or opening all of my senses. In my late teen, I experienced a lot with the criminal environment. I'm not very proud of that, but that kind of became my family, you know, because I wanted to belong somewhere, and I felt so different. I felt so different being an empath, being a telepath, a clairvoyant. I had no freaking where to go. So I chose the criminal environment. Stupid me, but it was kind of an eye-opener to me when I entered all that, because I got super scared by being in there and what the consequences were by being a part of that system or that kind of family, because it is a family. So that was kind of an eye-opener to me as well. Then in 2008, I became a mom for my son, Philip, and he's my one and only child, and he was born blind, and I just knew something was wrong. I knew it from the very beginning when I was pregnant, but nobody listened to me because everybody thought, well, she's just, you know, being too sensitive or overprotective as a first-time mom. But he was born blind, and he got a brain damage as well during the whole birth thing. And he suffers from, he's an infantile autist. He has infantile autism as well. Oh, so it's been kind of a journey being a mom. And that opened up my senses as well. So actually what I learned from all these traumatic things that could call for fear basically became a stepping stone for being more spiritual. And that is what fear is doing to us as human beings. It's an opening, and it's a gift for us to open up even more. All moms or all people out there who are listening to this, we only have our intuition. And a mom knows that the mom knows best. You know, so even though the doctors told me something or the system told me something different, I had to trust my gut feeling all the way. And that evolved Philip a lot. So now he's able to see. He's still autistic, and he will always be an autistic person. But I see the beauty in autism, and I see how I can, whenever I learn to cope with that, I saw that it gave me a lot of tools to work with other sensitive souls. And here comes the animals, right? Because we don't find such sensitive creatures as the animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's been a long, long journey and a lot of practice knowing that there's something bigger than me. There's something greater than us. So we are capable of controlling some parts of life, but we aren't in control of whenever we are dying, when to get the job, explicitly what kind of house we are going to move into. It's such a big puzzle. So we have no idea how the universe actually works, right? So knowing that letting go of control was a path for me to letting go of control in my own life. And that has been my own journey in I don't know how much money I'll earn every year. I don't know what kind of man I will attract. I don't know my son's future. I do know that I have myself and my intuition. I do know I have a calling and a life mission. And I know that I need to go on that path. And that's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I am such a privileged person that I get to make a living out of my passion. And ever since I was born, people always asked, what do you want to do whenever you grow up? It's such a huge question whenever you're 7 or 10 years old. And now the youngsters need to know it whenever they are 17 or 18. And then it's actually more or less for life. But I kind of knew that I was going to help other people. I knew that I loved animals. So I wanted to work as a journalist, as an author, and as a psychologist. And I came very close to doing that. Well, I didn't become a journalist, but I worked in the news department for so many years in the TV industry here in Denmark. I am an author of 4 books now, and I didn't become a psychologist, but therapists will do. But I do that every day. I feel alone every day because being spiritual and being an empath is a very lonely ride because we only have ourselves. But the whole task is going to be connecting to something bigger. And I got the privilege to connecting to the universe or the animals every single day because of my job. But I think that most spiritual people can agree on feeling lonely, different, the misfits, odd one out, because this is not a natural thing yet. And I've been working in this area my entire life. I'm 42 now, and I've seen the development from it's being very critical. People have been very skeptical to allowing acupuncture, holistical way of thinking, and now animal communication, clairvoyance, healing has been more common, meditation, yoga, etc. But that's just been the freaking weirdness of the world until 8 years ago, 5 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, it's been a battle, and I'm still fighting the battle that animals have rights. Animals are able to communicate because they are as individual as we as human beings are. But remember the trainers, remember the veterinarians, remember all these academical thinking people that were very skeptical about proving all this, or we need evidence-based projects to prove that emotion, that senses, that energy that can shift happens. I'm like, do we need to prove it? Do we actually need to prove that we have emotions? Yeah. The first emotion that always hits me is anxiety and fear. And whenever I know I'm afraid of something, or I'm afraid of doing something, or I'm afraid of saying things out loud, I know I have to do it. Because the one thing holding me back is not believing that I'm capable of getting it, or I don't deserve getting it, or I'm not worth enough getting it. So when I'm letting go of all that self-sabotaging things, I have to say about my own self-low worth. And I believe that I am worth it. I don't know how to get it. I don't know when to get it, but I know that I will succeed in getting it because I'm worth it. It's like the lawyer. I have to repeat that we can always use anxiety and fear for something. So we have always a choice. Are we going down that path of fearing even more or getting more anxiety in our lives because everything around us talk about fear? You know, look into the news. I don't watch the news anymore because it's fear-based. You know, all people that are selling something are doing it fear-based. Buy this now or it will never come out again for sale. You know, I'm like, oh, I need to buy this now. You know, it's in part because people are in control. People are trying to control events to happen instead of letting go of control, knowing it will happen if you believe in it. But when it will happen, we don't know. And what are we using the control for? Of not sensing fear. So whenever we are controlling other people by being jealous or just being in control or controlling a timeline, controlling a job or whatever, it's basically like a bandage of a wound that is screaming, I'm afraid. I'm so afraid of what will happen if I'm not in control.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Many other colleagues of mine talk about love and anxiety, the light or the darkness. And it's not like either way, it's combined. We need the light and the darkness. We need the darkness to develop the light. We need the fear to constantly choose love. So, you know, one cannot go without the other one, and we haven't gotten that yet. So I thought, you know, many years ago that fear or the darkness was kind of a bad energy surrounding us human beings, and we had to fight the battle to choose love, right? But now I know, no, it's in us. It lives inside of us, and it's a choice every single day we need to go, you know, to choose from. And when I think about just the emotions we have joy, we have anger, we have fear, we have anxiety, we have jealousy, we have sexuality. We don't have as many positive emotions as we have the negative ones. So we are also brought into an ego-based world packed with negative thoughts. The fear is always sent to us as a gift for choosing love. For example, the worst thing that could happen would be something that would threaten our existence. That could be our health problems, or that could be financial problems. That could be our location, you know, problems like losing our houses, losing our job, losing our businesses, losing our families. Of course, that would be the biggest threat ever because then we had nothing to exist from. But if we really opened our eyes, could we imagine a life where we get to start all over instead of being, I have several books coming up, and one of them is going to be about the children. It's going to be about the spiritual children that also suffers from various kinds of diagnoses, such as ADHD, ADD, autism. They're cutting, you know, we have so many young people out there who feel this spirituality and are sensing the world even more, and we need to put diagnoses on them to fit in an outdated system. So I'd like to you know, fight the system, kind of, you know, you need to update the system, you know, guys, because if we look into the school system, it's whatever is written down, you know, the law in going to school, it's based from 1946. And I'm like, okay, which kids would fit into a system that comes from 1946 in 2022, you know, from a month from now? So we need to understand that all these children are more universal touched or golden childs, and they are so much more in contact with love and senses and not anxiety because they weren't born during World War II, you know, and how do they develop us as human beings? That is going to be my next thing.